Shalom, shalom, brethren and sisters. This is my pleasure to come alongside with you in this course of CE305 Teaching Practicum Part 1. It's my pleasure as your lecturer to have this opportunity of teaching you this course in this term 2. So, most welcome at WBSU, especially in this term, and we are so honored to be part of your teaching and learning. And this course will be having 5 weeks, and it will have week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, and the final exam. So, I wish you a most welcome on this platform where you are getting these lessons. I am telling you that this is a very and brilliant lesson that is going to take place. So in this teaching practicum part 1, in the course overview, this is a course that is designed to provide graduate students of Christian education with foundational skills and strategic necessary for effective planning, teaching, and engaging students in the learning process. In other words, this is the course that is aimed at giving the strategic skills in planning lessons, teaching, and delivering quality and quantity effective planning in teaching and learning, especially for these master's students. Therefore, this course on developing students' ability to design and implement lessons plan and incorporate contemporary methods and approaches to teaching, and this will give potential skills in teaching and learning, especially in special needs education in the perspective of theological studies. This also will empower students in learning styles, where students will be getting enough knowledge in their learning styles. Also, it will focus on Christian principles in education. So, this course, as I have said, it will be covering 5 weeks. Those 5 weeks, each week will be having a topic. Then, to fostering an effective learning environment, this practicum aims to bridge the gap between theory and practice. I'm repeating once again, this is aiming at giving potential skills between theory and practice. So in week 1, we'll be dealing with foundations of teaching in Christian education. In week 2, we'll be dealing with lesson planning and instructional design. Then we'll be having week 3. Week 3 will be dealt with teaching strategies and the modern learners, how the modern learning and teaching is occurring. Week 4 will be dealing assessment and evaluation in Christian education, how you can assess your students, how you can evaluate them, especially in terms of Christian education. Then the week last will be dealing with classroom management and building learning environment. So those are the 5 topics we'll be covering. And then after this course, by the end of this course, students will be having developed the practical skills in lesson planning and instruction design within Christian education framework. So the students will be able to design, to develop lesson plannings. Then by the end of this week also, students will be equipped with diverse teaching strategies that meet the needs of modern learners. It will give the potential ability to modern learning. Three, this course will empower students on how students will be understanding and able to implement effective assessment strategies in both academic and spiritual contexts. Students will be aware of knowing the spiritual academics and spiritual context. So, number last, on the outcome of this lesson, the students will be able to manage classroom effectively, fostering an inclusive and engaging learning environment. So these are the four outcomes of this lesson. And then I'm encouraging everyone to participate actively and not go below 60%. That is the pass mark. At the WBSU, the pass mark is 65%, not 60, 65%. Below 65, it is a failure. So, as mastered students, we are welcoming you in this lesson. So, as I was giving you the course overview, allow me to start with the importance or the potential learning and teaching in this week one. As I have said, you are most welcome to be dealing with this content of week one on how we are going to deal and teach the foundations of teaching and Christian education in this practicum part one. So most welcome, being ready, pay attention, and then you can ask questions. This is a very good lesson that is giving the potential skills in the domain of education. Even though you are dealing with the theological studies, but the teaching practicum is a part of education learning system. So, as I was telling you about how this is going to give the students the ability of lesson planning, lesson designing, methodologies, and so on and so forth. In this week one, I'm welcoming all the students of the masters to be able to listen and learn well. This course has two objectives in this week. Objective number one, students will understand the law of Christian education in teaching and learning. This means what? The law of Christian education in teaching and learning. So this is the area that cannot be left behind. So students will be aware of it. Objective number two, the students will be able to identify the Christian education as is more than just an academic pursuit. It is a holistic approach to teaching that involves the intellectual, spiritual, and moral development of the students. This goal is to shape the students' hearts and mind through both academic content and Christian values. So this is another objective that is going to give the ability of the students to sharpen up their minds in two terms, in academic way and in spiritual way. So the students will be able to know these two objectives. Then we can have this week philosophy and principles of Christian education. So what is philosophy and principles of Christian education? Christian education refers to the process of teaching and learning based on Christian beliefs and values. That is the simple definition of Christian education and how it can refer to the process of teaching and learning in Christian values. So we Christians, we need to have the potential skills on what you are facing every day. Therefore, it is integrates academic subject with faith, not this way. It is integrates the academic learning with faith. This means all sciences are goes hand in hand with the faith. And then showing how to knowledge ultimate points back to God and His creation. It aims to develop individuals who not only excel academically but also grow spiritually and morally. So thank you so much for getting this definition on how it gives the potential skills on academic way and spiritual ways. That is the philosophy and the principles of Christian education. Then the core philosophy. Let us deal with the core philosophy. In the core philosophy, we shall be seeing how the Bible is stating. Bible as the foundation. Christian education emphasizes that the Bible is the ultimate source of the truth and wisdom. That is what we bargain. We know that the source of the truth and wisdom is the Bible. So the Bible, as the word of God, it has all. It informs the worldview and the moral compass that guides every area of learning. The Bible provides principles for characters development, ethics, and the worldview formation. Let me give you this following example. Pay attention to this example. When teaching literature, a Christian educator might focus on themes and redemption or forgiveness, highlighting biblical truth reflect in a character's journal. This means what? This means when teaching literature, a Christian educator might focus on themes and redemption or forgiveness. This is highlighting biblical truths, reflecting on the character's journey. So this is an example that I have just sorted out. And then we have core philosophy on holistic education, where Christian educators seek to develop the whole person, interests, characters, and spirits. It believes the students are made in the image of God. No, all the creatures, especially human beings, are created in the image of God. So, in this academically, we can have maturity on how academically, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, both of these are creating the sense of human being in the image of God. So we can even deal on this core philosophy of holistic education, where we can have this example. In a math lesson, a Christian educator may emphasize order on the structure in the world, reflecting the nature of God's creation, while also discussing how honest is in solving problems is a reflection of biblical truth. So when you see this is a science example that also involving the nature of God in what is has been created. And then we can move down on this teaching faith on the faith reason. Why you have faith reason? Christian education holds that faith and reason are not opposing forces but complementary. No, religion and science are complementarity. They are not separating or one is opposing another. No, they are complementarity. One is completing another. We can get this example where teaching science, a Christian educator might explore the nature of the natural world, nothing, how it is, complexity, and the body points of the creator. So this is giving an example of how both are related. So we can have this principle, have some key principles. This principle, you can say the Christ-centeredness, every aspect of Christian education from curriculum designing to classroom behavior should reflect Christ's example. His life and teaching are the model for how educators should approach their work and how students should engage with their learning. So this, it is meaning that Christ-centeredness refers to every aspect. We cannot say it doesn't not. When you say it doesn't not, you are out of the topic. So it is a must. It goes hand in hand with every aspects of the Christian education. We have some example on how Christian educators in the history class might highlight the importance of the justice, humility, servility, values, and so on and so forth. You can get more information on this by reading all of these notes. They are rich, so I am encouraging you to read the whole notes I have prepared for you. And characters development, here on characters development, you can also come on how with this example on how classroom rules may be based on the biblical principles such as treat others as you would want to be treated. So this is a biblical example on how Jesus said you treat others as you want to be treated. So if you want to be treated well, you have to treat others well. Creating a Christian-centered environment. This gives a scenario of creating a Christ-centered environment. So we have love and grace. On this theory of love and grace, on love and grace, the educator's role is to demonstrate love, patience, and grace. This reflects God's love for us and teaching students how to love others in turn. We have an example here on how Christian educators should forgive students to make mistakes and guide them with understanding, showing Christ-like mercy in their approaches. So we teachers, we have to demonstrate the love as Jesus Christ has demonstrated. So making a mistake is as usual as normal, but forgiveness is important. We have to forgive. We have to learn how we can forgive. Our students have to forgive. Then strategic for integration, we have biblical perspectives. Every lesson plan should be complete with biblical perspectives on the topic. For instance, a history lesson on the American civil rights movement could include the biblical principles of justice, highlighting how Christian leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. were motivated by the faith. So this is an example that can even reach there in this context. Then Christian worldview encourage students to reflect on how their faith shapes their understanding of the world around them. So this is showing how what is surrounding us have to give us the real and important teaching. All things are giving the serious lesson. Then the calling of Christian educators. The Christian educator is not simply fulfilling a job but answering a divine calling. So Christian educators, they have calling, the divine calling, the calling from heaven, the calling from God. So Christian educators are tasked with shaping not only intellectual but also hearts and souls of students. It is responsible that it requires spiritual discernment, a commitment of excellence, and heart for discipleship. So, Christian educators, simply their job is just answering the divine calling. They have to know that they are called by God. So, what they are doing is not just job; it's just soul winning. How you can save the souls of your fellows. your shepherd. So we have what is called the servant leadership. We have spiritual mentorship. In the servant leadership, you have to know that you are serving the people. When you are serving the people, you have to imitate Jesus Christ. Spiritual mentorship, we have to mentor our people. Then there is a responsibility, spiritual formation. We have role modeling, we have disciple making, and so on and so forth. Then we have what is called the qualities of Christian education on how passion for Christ, compassion and empathy, commitment and excellence. And then we have teaching the Bible, key areas of Christian education, especially in this lesson. We have teaching the Bible, we have Christian ethics. Then in teaching the Bible teaching is central to Christian educators. Educators must help students to understand the historical context, narrative, theological significance of scriptures, while also guiding them in how to apply it in their daily life. So educators have to show students on how they can apply the principles that are in the Bible and how they can apply in their daily life. Then, Christian ethics, this involves teaching students biblical standards of morality and ethics, such as honesty, integrity, love, justice. It equips students to make decisions that align with Christian values. So, this gives students the ability of knowing their value and being able to act well in the society. This distinctives of Christian teaching in this context have a biblical foundation that is dealing with the all teachings in a Christian context is underpinned by the biblical truths, even when discussing secular subject. Christian educators find ways draw connection to God. So whatever you do, even though this can be um, in a secular way, but we need to know that we have to connect them to what is the will of God and how they are related with the Word of God. And then we can even have spiritual formation on how spiritual formation this focuses on the developing of both in intellectual and the spiritual students. This goes to produce not just knowledge students, but Christ-like individuals. So to read how Jesus Christ was, to imitate Jesus Christ. So we can even go hand in hand with reflection, discussion, and the role of the Christian education as we are ending um, this lesson. We can tap on the objective, how to encourage personal reflection on what it means to be Christian educators, focusing on calling responsibilities and the integration of faith into teaching. So we need to make sure that we are accountable of what we are teaching, what we are learning. We need to engage our students to be committed and pay attention that they are accountable. So, brethren, as we are concluding, Christian education is a high calling that involves integration faith with running development, both the mind and the spirit of the modeling Christ-like behavior. So, this how we are mothering like Christ, like behavior in this foundation week. Students understand that teaching is a Christian context is not just about delivering content, but about shaping lives and guiding students towards the deeper relationship with God. So, brethren and sisters, ending this lesson, this gives the scenario of relating the biblical context and secular context, whether this science or scientific perspectives and religious perspectives. So I'm encouraging you to read more, to navigate through these notes, and you deal with all the content, and even reading the PDF copy, Word copy, and listen to this video because it is showing you some area of navigating. And then you can even take further readings like Teaching Core Changes a Christian Perspectives. This is a book that has been written by Dr. Robert G. Pansinio, and there is other books like Teaching of Change Lives, written by Horwath and Hendricks. These are the resources that can guide you. You have to make some research, and then you dig a lot. So I'm wishing you success in this week one. This is your professor, Bishop Dr. Antoine Nzaisenga, your lecturer in this teaching practicum. I will be happy to see you passing well this lesson of this week on how you can get good scoring and good performance. And then I'm encouraging you to read all the notes, and then you answer all questions related to foundation of teaching and Christian education. And then rendezvous is to be meeting the next week, where we'll be digging also another course within this. Shalom, shalom. May God bless you. I'm wishing you the success. See you once again.